About 1 million people in the U.S. are living with Parkinson's disease, and that number is expected to climb as the population ages. On Saturday, one local group is lacing up their sneakers to bring attention to this degenerative disease, and I'm joined now to talk about it with Gregg Hummer, director of the Support Group Assistance Program at Jax Hope Incorporated. Welcome, Gregg.
Hello, thank you.
And Jennifer Otero, co-founder and race director of the First Coast Parkinson's Run. Hey, Jennifer.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. So, Gregg, what is Parkinson's disease?
Parkinson's is a disease, it's a neurological condition where your brain doesn't produce enough of a chemical that helps with your movement and your judgment. And it's mostly a movement disorder. And you have tremors, you have stiffness, soreness, and then other symptoms like, sleepless problems, sleep problems, and things like that. So they estimate every 6 minutes someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's in the U.S. And right now, like you said, there's 1 million people with Parkinson's in the country. And here in Florida, just under 100,000 have Parkinson's. And even in the Jacksonville area, there's numbers any 25 to 30,000.
Wow.
And so there's a lot of symptoms, both motor and non-motor. It's like everybody, if you meet one person with Parkinson's, you met one person with Parkinson's, because we all have different little things that we have. But there's no cure. There's medicines that help control the symptoms, and they've proven that exercise helps with progression, not stop it, but it'll slow the progression down. So there is hope on the way for
When
Parkinson's.
you say we, are you just speaking for the community, or do you personally have a diagnosis?
I have diagnosed Parkinson's. I've been diagnosed about 10 years ago.
Okay. Is it a disease that is typically associated more with older people, or is it young and old?
They're finding that they're getting younger. More people in their 30s and 40s are getting diagnosed. More women are getting diagnosed. And our support group, about 50% of our members are women. They don't know if it's because more women joined the workforce in the 70s and 80s. They just don't know.
What would the connection there be? Like, what causes it?
There's a lot of people have questioned the causes, pesticides, chemicals that we come in contact with, something that's in our family genes. And that's just one of the things they're studying right now. There's so little known about Parkinson's, but more and more is organizations do more research, and it's helping.
Jennifer, you've also been personally affected by Parkinson's. Can you share your story?
Yes, my mother was diagnosed in 2005, and as a family member, we knew nobody else who had Parkinson's. And really, up until a couple of years before she'd passed in December 2014, we really did not know this large group that we know now. And so in 2002, we started seeing symptoms. 2005, she was diagnosed. And in 2012, I worked with UF Health and established this Parkinson's Run just to bring awareness to it. And the first year, January 2014, there were 500 people in attendance. I didn't even know there was 500 people who knew what Parkinson's was, right? And my mom was able to be there. She was pushed by my husband and kids and grandkids. And basically she said she could barely speak. And her words were, there are other people like me. And so from that point on, we're now on the 11th year. Every year it grows. Prior to COVID, we had nearly 1,500 people in 2019. This year we're estimating between 800 and 1,000 people. So that if that gives you any indication of how vast and impacting it is, then on a Saturday morning, something that's not maybe super sexy, right? Parkinson's, that we have people ages 2 to 92 attending.
Wow. And so this is to raise awareness. Does it also benefit the mission of Jax Hope?
It is. Yes, that's exactly what it does. Throughout the entire 11 years, it has benefited. All monies raised have gone directly to grassroots opportunities to bring resources, connections, mental health and physical fitness classes. Literally, we're a dot connector, right? So if there is a program that needs support, we provide those resources. We've stood up adaptive exercise classes in Glynn County. We've stood up hula hoop classes in Panama City Beach. And most recently, we stood up a rock steady boxing class in Flagler, Palm Coast, all from the proceeds of events like First Coast Parkinson's Run.
And so the resource at Jax Hope isn't just for people with a diagnosis, but for their families as well.
Oh,
Is that
yes.
right, Gregg?
Yeah, we encourage family activities. We have picnics. We have fun things, bingo. We go to ball games. So we try to live a normal life, even though we shake a little bit.
How important is it to have that resource for families and also just a place for people with a shared diagnosis like that to connect?
It's very important, and it really helps eliminate the progression, because some people with Parkinson's, they get ashamed, so they'll just stay at home and they'll just watch TV and just be depressed. But we teach them that you can have a life with Parkinson's, and your family can enjoy things together, and that's what we do in the support groups. They have dinners, regular meetings. We have educational things, exercise programs, and we just try to live an all-around life.
Just briefly tell us how to get involved in the race.
All right. Well, Riverside Park, starting at 8 a.m., there'll be a 4-hour festival. We'll have 50 to 75 booths, food trucks.
This
Kona
Saturday.
Ice this Saturday. You can come on out and register then, or you can go to our website, firstcoastparkinsonsrun.com, and register. And everybody gets a shirt and a medal as long as quantities last. And every year we design a new logo associated to the feeling and the thought and kind of the symbolism of that year.
And kind of as your mom participated, people can come even if they're not mobile.
100%. We have a viewing area. We also have, there are people who do it in walkers, people who've done it in wheelchairs. We have people who actually push the wheelchairs too.
Well, thanks so much for being here, Gregg Hummer, Jennifer Otero. That is our show.